What's up, everybody? Welcome back to is this 12? That's crazy. Episode
Yeah,
12 of River Ave Radio. I'm Kyle Dixon, as always.
I am Ryan Parker. I am happy to be back. This is our final episode of our Division Rivals series, and we of course saved the maybe not the best team, but our biggest rival for last. We are going to be discussing the Boston Red Sox today. Kyle, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I just want to start out by saying shout out to my lovely girlfriend Emily, who's a Red Sox fan. She said she wouldn't listen to the episode unless I gave her a shout out right at the top. So I love you even though I hate your team. And I'm going to say some things that might not be very nice, but just know that we're going to try to be objective in this analysis as much as we possibly can.
Listen, our Orioles episode. If any Red Sox fans are coming in wondering if this is going to be an objective episode, our Orioles episode was positively reviewed by Orioles fans, and they did agree with a lot of what we had to say, specifically about the base running coaches, which I thought was a very interesting point by my co-host Kyle here. But before we get started, just want to remind everyone, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, download wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple Music, or I guess we're not on Apple yet. We're still trying to figure that out. YouTube, and interact with our socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we are happy to get to you if you are happy to have our content. So let us know if you are. And with that, Kyle, anything else?
Now let's just jump right into their offense.
Yeah, I think. Do you want to get us started on who Red Sox swear they would take over Juan Soto?
Yeah, so top of the list, obviously, for the Red Sox is Roman Anthony. He's the number one prospect, or he was the number one prospect in baseball for a reason. He's very good at baseball. He's underrated on defense as well, which I think people don't really give him enough respect for. He's a very good defender, despite the Red Sox having kind of a weird outfield logjam out there. He, in limited games, had 6 outs above average, which is really excellent. He hits the ball just as hard as anybody else does. Obviously, he's not getting like Giancarlo Stanton numbers, but top 90th percentile in basically every important offensive stat. And he walks a lot. He strikes out a lot, but that just comes with the profile. You're swinging the bat really hard. If you're taking your walks, I don't really care. It's not like he's striking out 35% of the time. He hasn't really kind of figured out how to hit in Fenway yet, or really to take advantage of the ballpark. If you go look at his spray chart, he's never actually hit a home run over the Green Monster, which
Really?
I think is funny just for a guy with a lot of power, even though obviously that's not his pull side. That being said, obviously like there's jokes like the platoon empire, like
Shout out
his
AP.
his numbers against lefties weren't even really that bad. Like he had almost an 800 OPS. But if you look at his underlyings, like across a full season, unless he improves, those numbers will pretty significantly go down. Like a 438 batting average on balls in play, a 27% home run to fly ball rate. Like both of these numbers indicate that he was getting very lucky against lefties. And even though Fenway has, I think I'm going to say this about like every single person, Fenway is such a bullshit place to play. Like you can sustain like a really high BABIP and home run fly ball rate, but it won't be that high. Even if he was playing all 162 games in Fenway, which obviously he won't be.
Yeah, uh, I totally agree with you on the lefty points, especially over a full season. A 438 batting average on balls in play is just simply not sustainable. And you know, you don't play 162 games in Fenway, and you do have to go on the road. And but that being said, this is not some platoon bat only good against lefties. This is the number one prospect in baseball, and you should expect him to improve against lefties. But he was still incredible. I mean, the way he performed against righties was nothing short of amazing. Overall, his expected weighted on base average of 372. He didn't qualify since he was injured towards the end of the year and he came up kind of late, but that was still near the top of the league. His hard hit rate is 60.3. Like that is actually let's look up Giancarlo Stanton's like prime Stanton's hard hit rates. His hard hit rate now is still 55.2. That's crazy. Unk Stanton 55.2% hard hit rate. Okay, so 2017 he won the MVP, right? Yeah. 2017 his hard hit rate was 45.6. Uh
He hits the ball hard.
Yeah,
Is the
and
point?
Roman Anthony hits it harder. So this is going to be a problem for us, and I am not looking forward to it. I don't think that this was the difference in the playoff series, but it's
It
definitely
could have been,
it could have been.
but you never know. I'm not gonna play those games.
I think a lot of like there were a lot of people that, including me, that before I was doing this research, I was kind of a big like the Red Sox needed Bregman and when they were addressing their offseason, and they got a quality player in Wilson Contreras to replace Bregman, and I kind of thought that wouldn't be enough. But a full season of Roman Anthony is going to be enough. He's an elite bat. Has all-star potential coming out of the gate. So this is someone to worry about. He's going to be hitting at the top of that order for a long time.
Yeah.
Unless the Red Sox decide to trade him to some team on the West. Probably, maybe So if history serves, he'll be on the Padres at some point in his career, because they traded Mookie to the Dodgers. They traded Devers to the Giants. So maybe the Angels are looking for an outfielder.
Funny enough, do you know how many? Do you know what high school he went to? This is a weird question, but there are
No.
two other MLB players. One of them recently retired, and one of them not retired and not an offensive player, even though he's listed as a hitter for some reason on Baseball Reference.
Mm-hmm.
That came out of Roman Anthony's high school. One of them, Italian, another Italian from Florida. He played for the Cubs and then the Yankees.
Played for the
He
Cubs
retired
and the
recently.
Yankees. Oh,
Retired recently. You know this player very well.
Yeah. I can't.
You're gonna feel real fucking dumb.
I am. I can't get Alfonso Soriano out of my head, but that's not it.
No, not
Yeah.
even close. A name starts with an A.
I was a little close. Oh, Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo.
I do feel stupid not getting that.
And the other one you're never gonna guess because there's no way you possibly would. But Jesus Luzardo.
No way!
Yeah. So a couple of funny guys
My
coming out
fantasy ace.
of. Oh my god, dude. We can't get to fantasy in this episode. We just had our draft, lots of things going on, but we literally take the length of the episode just to explain all the lore there.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's gonna be really good. Red Sox fans should be excited for his full season of Roman Anthony. I just hope that they give him enough time, like in the outfield, to actually make his defense worth something instead of like sticking. We'll get to Rafaela later. Like they do weird shit with defense. Next up on the outfield totem pole, I'd say, is probably Jarren Duran, even though Red Sox fans kind of hate him.
I think
He
they probably
basically
put
just got-
Willier over him.
Nah,
They would.
Well, fans maybe, but not in terms of actually being good at baseball. But basically, everything got worse in 2024. Like his range went from elite to really bad. All of his expected numbers went down. Even though he actually improved his like average exit velocity and his bat speed just a little bit, but still a noticeable improvement, not just a fake one. But Jarren Duran just can't hit lefties. We're gonna see a lot of these guys throughout the offense. Like the Red Sox really don't have a lot of guys that can hit lefties. He had a 61 WRC plus in 2025. Like, damn, that's unplayably bad. And I would expect him to be better than like 40% worse than league average against lefties in 2026, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that the 2024 8 B-War season was a mirage.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm not a big Jarren Duran guy. I mean, like you said, everything just got considerably worse last year, and yeah, Jarren Duran is one of those players I have to really force myself to be objective about when I'm talking about him, because like whatever. And so he was still an elite base runner, but like you said, pretty much everything else got worse. He went from 96th percentile in batting run value to 77th. He went from 95th percentile in fielding run value to 63rd. So his defense actually got like considerably worse. His range was bad. He couldn't track balls. His on-base percentage was .332, which is, fine. It's average. Slugging percentage was .442. His OPS overall is .774, and his average. I mean, this is an average player, and like we were saying, you can expect better than maybe last year, but the 8 WAR season that he put up in 2024, which only happened once, like it wasn't like that was who he was up until 2024, and now he's bad. Like he was good that one time, and it's not going
Also,
to
I
happen
feel like
again.
it was mostly just like a mirage with how like B War's calculated. Like his
Yeah.
defense really wasn't that good, and a lot of his WAR was coming from his defense.
Hmm.
Because last year he had an 834 OPS, which is noticeably better than 774. Like obviously that's pretty significantly different, but it's not different enough to account for like the massive gap in wins above replacement. So honestly, I think Red Sox fans should not be expecting anything more than maybe like a 10-20% boost from 2025 at best.
Yeah, I I would have to agree, and that's I think I think that's why a lot of people were really interested in trading him. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Red Sox view him. I don't know if they view him highly, but they value him too high for teams to be willing to meet that price. And so I don't think Jaron Duran is really going anywhere. Maybe this year, maybe in the off season. I don't know. It's but then I mean you never know what the Red Sox do. They traded Devers literally. Devers' last at bat was a home run against the Yankees, and they traded him. Whatever.
So they do weird things.
Yeah. So it's hard to predict, but I would say that Jaron Duran is probably going to be in this lineup in this outfield for 2025, and I'm excited about that. I don't know if Red Sox fans
Yeah.
are, but anything else to say on Jaron Duran?
Not specifically about Jaron Duran, but we're about to get to Willie Abreu next, who also has a pretty below average offensive profile against lefties. And the Yankees have a lot of lefty starting pitchers. And doing this whole preview kind of makes me excited for the Yankees into Red Sox matchup because they lost Rob Refsnyder, who was one of their two demon lefty killers. We'll talk about sorry, I can't believe I blanked on Romy Gonzalez. We'll talk about Romy Gonzalez later, but they really might have lefty problems. And
I did
Willie
not realize.
Abreu is another guy within that category that he wasn't nearly as bad as Duran was against lefties. He had an 85 WRC plus, so 15% worse rather than 40% worse. It's a difference, but still really bad. Those are like Anthony Volpe numbers against one side of the plate. He also wasn't as good against righties as I thought he was. For some reason in my mind, he was like a 125 to 130 OPS plus guy against righties, but he was sitting at 115, I think. So those are good numbers, but by no means excellent. He is a truly awesome defender, but he also has just exploitable weaknesses that aren't about pitching handedness. He can't hit high fastballs with any sort of velo. We saw in the World Baseball Classic that he actually did hit a high fastball for a home run to give Venezuela the lead there. But that was on a 91 mile per hour pitch. Like, if you're throwing 98 up there, like pretty much all the Yankees pitchers can, we don't really have anybody that throws 91 out of the starting rotation at the top of the zone. So we saw it in the wild card round. Like, Schlittler embarrassed Willie Abreu like repeatedly just with fastballs, not even super high in the zone, like kind of middle high, like middle up, not even above the zone, and he just swung right through them. So I'm not going to rule out that he could improve. I think that if anyone, I'm not including Roman Anthony, but of the Jaron Duran, Willie Abreu, Cedon Rafaela kind of outfielder 2, 3, 4 core, I'd say Willier probably has the most potential to improve. But as he is right now, I think he's another guy that can probably get victimized by a heavy lefty Yankees rotation.
Yeah, I agree. Willier got relatively unlucky last year in general, but he had a 283 BABIP against lefties, which is not like crazy bad. But I mean, like if you look at his lefty righty splits, his exit velocity, his hard hit rate, his barrels sort of stay the same, but everything just kind of gets worse. He's not like like we talk about, not to get too off topic here, but we talk about Ben Rice and his splits against lefties. Like his contact rates are bad, but the batted ball data is still there. If you look at Willier Abreu, everything just kind of gets worse. Like the average exit velo against righties is 91.7 miles per hour. Against lefties, it's 85.3 miles per hour. His barrel rate, which is still good against lefties, goes from 12.3 to 10.4. His hard hit rate, 46.5 to 37.5. Like these are huge, huge drop offs. The contact rates, again, more or less stay the same, but still get worse. 23.4% whiff rate against righties, 27% whiff rate against lefties. Like, he is considerably worse against left-handed pitchers. And as you were saying, and as people bemoaned about all offseason, the Yankees have a very, very left-handed heavy starting rotation, which really could benefit us in these matchups. And that is a really good point, Kyle, that the matchups this year should be a little bit better than last year, if nothing else.
Yeah. Next up on the outfield list is probably their outfield four right now, but I have some things to say about that, is Ceddanne Rafaela. If Emily's mom is listening to this, I know he's your favorite. I actually really like Rafaela in a vacuum. Like, he can't really hit, but he does at least like put together streaks of being able to hit. I don't think it's ever going to be sustainable just with how much he strikes out and how much he chases.
You're familiar with some
But
of those streaks.
yeah, whatever, bro. Fuck you. Fuck your fantasy team. Uh, but he's just so good defensively that I think he's probably worth playing every day against lefties, even though he only has an 81 WRC plus against lefties. He's just better than Duran. Like, if Duran can't field, he's not worth playing over Ceddanne Rafaela when Rafaela will be the best defender in the league, more or less, and Duran will hit worse and defend worse than him. It genuinely disgusted me every time they would put Rafaela at second base last year. Like, can you imagine PCA being at second base? Like I understand he's a good second baseman, but like he's the best defender in the league, arguably, and you're throwing him at one of the least valuable defensive positions besides like first base. Like, it's disgusting.
He was also a good. He was a good. I'm sorry, he was a good second baseman, but it wasn't like he was like a great second baseman. He was a great. He was, if not the best, he was the best outfielder not named PCA, and not by much. His outs above average in 2025 was 21. PCA's was 24. Like, this is not a considerable difference between the two of them. And they were putting this guy in the infield all the time. And also, it was like that was coinciding with his hitting cold streaks as well. Like, he was on my fantasy team, so I was a little tapped into that last year. And every time, like, they were putting him at second to kind of fit him in the lineup, Jarren Duran should be the subtraction from this lineup. And I hope that Alex Cora isn't listening and he doesn't figure this out. But like, the fact that I don't know why Jarren Duran was treated, I don't know how he's going to be treated this year, but at least last year he was treated like a much better player than he was. Like, they sacrificed Ceddanne Rafaela's playing time for Jarren Duran. And may I say, Ceddanne Rafaela, I just went and looked, his underlying metrics are actually better against lefties than they are against righties. Like, he goes from a 7.0% barrel percentage against righties to a 14.2% barrel percentage against lefties. 97th percentile swing decision, Z swing. So he's making excellent in zone swing decisions, and he's making excellent swing decisions overall. He's got a 99th percentile swing percentage. His contact rates stay more or less the same. His K rate is actually 58%. 19.8% both ways. But his whiff and his control of the zone gets a little worse. But his batted ball data is considerably better against left-handed pitching. So if they're going to play anyone against lefties, it's got to be Ceddanne. And it shouldn't be at second base.
Yeah, if they put him at second base even a single time this year, I think they're throwing. Like,
especially with Marcelo Meyer coming back, like, it just doesn't.
I was so like, if I was a Red Sox fan and this was happening like every day, I would just be so angry all the time.
This was for Yankee fans who are listening. Like, take them playing Jazz at third for like the month at the start of last year and amplify it by about 30. Like,
yeah,
this is just an unfathomable decision. I genuinely don't understand what led them there, but
He's still so Rafael is still young. He may have some offensive upside. He's not somebody that we're gonna have to game plan around on
Yeah,
offense. Like he'll run into a home run or two against us during the year, I'm sure. But just try to avoid hitting it to him and hope that he doesn't actually figure out how to hit like he does for 1 or 2 weeks at a time for the whole year, or else we'll be in some serious trouble. But
yeah,
probably won't happen. Next up, we got the infields with a new addition to the Red Sox lineup is Wilson Contreras, who came over from the Cardinals. He could kind of be a demon, I think.
yeah. I agree. I'm pulling up his savant right now. Is he a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter?
He's a righty, right? I always forget
He
that
yes,
he
he's
has
a righty.
two. He's Wilson with two L's, which is
Yes,
funny.
yes,
Yeah, he's gonna be a crazy green monster merchant.
yeah. Especially because um his launch angle sweet spot was really good last year, 37.1%. But more importantly, his pull air percentage was 19.8, which is a huge drastic jump for him. And if he can maintain that, he's just going to be hitting balls off the wall all the time. And he's going to be his home WRC plus is going to be considerably higher if he's able to maintain this. This is a very adequate replacement for Alex Bregman, especially because Alex Bregman is getting old, and I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but he really wasn't great coming back from injury last
No, he
year.
wasn't.
And yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I
Wilson
think
Contreras is older than Bregman is, but he plays first base, and a lot of Bregman's value came from his glove, and none of Wilson's value is going to come from his glove. It's pretty much all going to be from mashing the baseball. But if you go look at his spray chart, especially like in the Green Monster area,
yeah,
I want you to go look right now. It's really funny. Like
it's all there.
he hit, I think like 20 home runs last year. Yeah, he hit exactly 20 home runs. He would have easily hit 30 if he was playing in Boston. And honestly, I don't want to say he's going to get better because, he's going to be 34 years old this year. It's hard to say that somebody's going to improve as they get into their mid to late 30s. But even just him staying the same would be a pretty massive upgrade, especially for a Red Sox team that really didn't have good first base play last year. Like after Casas got injured, they're throwing like Nate Eaton out there. Did they throw like Campbell at first for a few days and then they sent him down to the minors because he
Yeah,
sucks ass at baseball? They really had no good first base play at all.
more on that
And
later.
and it'll be good for the Sox to have an actual power threat who isn't Rafael Devers after they traded him.
Yeah, I think that's honestly like I don't want to say I like Wilson Contreras more than I like Bregman for the Sox, but it is kind of funny if you look at like their baseball savants, the red and blue just kind of flips. Like Wilson Contreras' contact rates are really bad and his batted ball data is really good, and Alex Bregman's kind of the other way around. So it really is just like sort of it's a big change in the type of hitter that they're bringing in, but
Yeah.
and I do think
I
that
mean, they're
this
also
is
paying him a
going to
lot
be
less than they would have paid
yeah.
Bregman, and for a lot less time.
And again, like if he went from a 15.1%, he averages like around to below 15% on his pull air rate, and then last year out of nowhere just hit it in the air on the pull side 20% of the time. So again, if he can maintain that as a right-handed hitter in Fenway, he's going to be monstrous. And even if not, like again, looking at his spray chart, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so many doubles that would have gone out at Fenway and or at least hit the wall. And this was probably the move that the Red Sox made in the offseason that I was the most nervous about, just because I mean like the pitching is we'll circle back on the pitching, but this is definitely gonna this is going them him and Roman Anthony hitting at the top of the lineup gives them a lot more power than I was maybe ready to admit before I did this episode.
Next up is Trevor Story, who maybe will be their shortstop. Alex Cora came out with a weird quote the other day saying Marcelo Myers not guaranteed a spot on the opening day roster. So whether or not he's second baseman, shortstop is yet unclear. He did own us last year, which I was not happy about. But overall, he just kind of sucks. So I'm assuming that his numbers against the Yankees will go down to being more normal next year. He's not a good fielder anymore, and he hits the ball like kind of hard, but he's constantly injured and just isn't really worth much in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought a lot of he opted into the contract this offseason, right? I remember I think a lot of I remember seeing a lot of Sox fans hoping that he wasn't going to do that. But,
Yeah,
I mean
of course, if the fans don't want him to opt in, he's going to opt in. That's like, why would
yeah.
he opt out? He
Yeah.
sucks.
But yeah, I don't know. I really don't have much to add on that one. He's old. I don't think he's going to be that good. I think a lot of the Red Sox success last year, I mean, listen, like we totally did it to ourselves and we played like shit, but the imbalance of the Red Sox Yankees rivalry from last year is definitely going to come back down. Number one, just like regression to the mean with people like Trevor Story and Brian Bayo, who we'll talk about later, who just overperforms his stats by just an insane amount when he plays the Yankees. They should come back down to earth a little bit, and our matchups and our splits line up pretty well. I think we're going to do pretty well against this team this year. But I do think they're
Yeah,
going to be good. Like they're going to be a problem, just maybe not a problem for us.
yeah. Next up on the list is Marcelo Meyer, who is one of their top prospects. He's going to be playing shortstop most likely. I would assume he makes the opening day roster. Like, even if he's bad, I don't really see the point in keeping him in the minor leagues with how awful their replacements are. Like, do you really
Yeah,
want to keep your best prospect in AAA where he's already shown he can hit AAA pitching just to have, like, Nate Eaton get everyday reps at second base? Like, that seems stupid to me. He
yeah.
struggled pretty bad at the majors after coming up last year, even after having a really excellent minor league season. He had a 6, not 66 WRC plus. He was 94% worse than league average against lefties last year. He got like one hit, I guess. Like, I didn't know a 6 was possible. Actually, I did know because I think Oswald Peraza had a negative WRC plus against everybody last year.
Dude,
But either
ridiculous.
way, point is he was really bad against lefties. He was okay against righties. He had like a 80 to 90 WRC plus, I forget, but still not good. He played good defense, and I think the Red Sox obviously believe in him. So I don't see why they wouldn't start him on the major league roster, just so we can actually learn at the big league level. They need a shortstop so bad, and they don't really have any other ones coming up the pipeline. So I think they're just gonna start the year and ride him out.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep him down below. He had like you said, he had really good stats at AAA and just has proven again and again that he can hit at the minor league level. And at this point, it's just a question of whether or not he can hit at the major league level. But his stats did get considerably worse in AAA last year. Just for reference, he went from hitting 271 to 228, a 347 on base to a 272, a 113 WRC plus to an 80. So that's a 33-point drop, and that's to be expected for young hitters especially come up and struggle all the time. The jump from AAA to the majors is almost as big as the jump from I've heard single A to double A. I think that's what people say. I'm not specifically sure on it, but it's the biggest jump that you're going to make in probably your major league career. And yeah, there's really not much. I don't know. It's hard to look at his expected stats and be like, oh well, he did this and this when he really could just come out and look entirely different next year. So I don't know. I guess it's kind of wait and see on Marcelo Meyer.
Yeah. I think I'd be pretty surprised if he becomes an above average bat against lefties immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he learns how to hit righties, I wouldn't be as surprised. I'm not saying he's gonna have a 6 WRC plus against lefties and have a good WRC plus against righties, but I think it'd be foolish to count him out after like I don't know 30 games where he might have been injured
Yeah,
the whole time.
was he?
Caleb Durbin is there. Well, he got injured immediately after. I don't know. Like it's impossible to say if he was injured when he came up to begin with.
Hmm.
But he did. Like he didn't play most of the year.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He wasn't in AAA.
I always get my wires crossed with him, Christian Campbell, and Roman Anthony. It's just like the big three thing.
Mm.
They were all coming up and down at the same time. And anyways, not important.
Caleb Durbin they got from the Brewers by trading Kyle Harrison, who looks really good with the Brewers. Haha, cuck Red Sox. he's just a deeply unethical ball player. He doesn't strike out and he doesn't walk. He never he's just gonna be a pain in the ass. He does pull it in the air a decent amount, like nearly 20% of the time. So he's just gonna be hitting the ball off the green monster, which is like, oh my god, this ballpark is so stupid. We have to
It's
Red Sox fans cannot criticize Yankee Stadium. Like go look at yourself in the mirror, bro.
and I'm sorry, like at least Yankee Stadium has like a deep outfield and it's difficult to get singles or whatever. Like the Red Sox have not only the wall but the pesky pole and a short center field. So I don't know where you think you get the right to say anything,
They
but you don't.
they have like a weird alley in right center that makes
Yeah,
up for the fact that you can hit a like 205-foot home run down the right field line.
ridiculous. Anyways,
But
yeah,
I don't
Caleb
know. He's
Durbin,
he's a good defender. He's a decent enough base runner. He's short, which is funny.
Yankees
I don't know.
legend.
He'll be fine. Yeah, never debuted. Was gonna be the Yankees starting shortstop, or sorry, starting third baseman until we traded him for Devin Williams, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah,
whatever. Carlos Narvaez, their starting catcher. I have in the notes bum in all caps with about 800 exclamation points. He's not a bum, but it is really funny to see Red Sox fans after they proclaimed him. Like, what was Carabas's nickname for him? Like, was he calling him the captain or some shit?
I have no idea. Probably something stupid like that.
But yeah,
But
they called him some crazy nickname like the captain or whatever. But he can't hit. He had a 60 WRC plus overall in the second half. He plays good defense, but you can find a lot of guys in the
his
league who play good catcher defense and can't hit.
his first half was so annoying. Dude, okay, so this is a little side story. I was at the game where Judge took Crochet deep in the ninth inning. I was at Fenway Park. I was with my Red Sox fan roommate. I was going absolutely ballistic in right field. And after I stopped celebrating and the ninth inning ended, I turned to him and said, "We're losing this game." So I just really wanted to enjoy that moment. And I saw Carlos Narvaez step up to the plate, and I basically turned to him and said, "Let's go now and beat the traffic because he's totally walking this off right now." Lo and behold, double off the wall. Red Sox won the
Off
game.
the green
But
monster, more fake bullshit.
yeah,
Out in any other stadium.
yeah, he was just an incredibly frustrating player in the first half. It was annoying watching Sox fans talk about him, and it's he's a good player, and I feel like the way people talk about him again forces you to have to try and be objective, but he is an excellent defensive catcher, and that's the position where if you have a bad bat, maybe not as bad as Narvaez, but if you have a bad bat and you play good defense, it's excusable. But I think obviously the Red Sox would really like to see that bat kind of step up. But yeah, he was 98th percentile he was 87th percentile in framing, 88th percentile in blocks above average, like just an elite defensive catcher, and really nothing more to say on that front. But
Yeah. I
I'm
think
trying
his
to I'm trying
defense is good enough to make him like at least an acceptable major leaguer. I don't think the Red Sox really have anybody else that they can bring up though. Like they don't have any catching prospects coming up the pipeline after they traded Kyle Teal for Garrett Crochet, which is obviously
right.
they would do that trade again. But I'm not exactly moved by Carlos Narvaez. I think Red Sox fans will be disappointed if they expect first half Narvaez over second half Narvaez.
Yeah, he had a 348 BABIP in the first half, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just
Lol.
looking this up right now.
Fen Mickey
Lol.
too can probably impact that, but
Yeah.
the Red
Anyways,
Sox bench is interesting a little bit. It consists of Masataka Yoshida, Romy Gonzalez, IKF, and Tristan Casas. Is it confirmed Casas is gonna start the year? Is he healthy?
I believe so. I Let me look on Fangraphs right now. I'm looking at roster resource. I think right or no? Is he still on the IL? Yeah, he is.
No,
He's still
he's
on the
still on
IL.
the I.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, the
unclear if
initial
he's gonna
surgery
start
date.
the season with the major league team. He might go do an
He's
affiliate,
on the
but either
40
way,
man right now. So
he will be on the team sooner rather than later on the bench.
Yeah.
So Yoshida doesn't really have a spot. He's really their fifth outfielder right now. He doesn't hit well enough to justify giving him DH time, and he doesn't field well enough to beat out any of their many, many outfielders. There's been trade rumors forever, it seems, but nobody wants him. Like, he has a relatively large contract for a negative player. So I think he's probably just going to be riding the pine a lot and maybe gets to play when they want to give a rest day to one of these guys or somebody gets injured. Anything else to say before I move on from him?
No, not really. I mean, you need a bench outfielder. It's just they're paying him a lot of
He's
money. So
fine. Like
yeah,
he's getting massively overpaid for what he can produce, but he's fine. He's not like the
he's
worst player of all
he's
time by any means.
he's a Yankee killer, right?
I don't know if he's like statistically a Yankee killer, but he's definitely had some big moments. I mean, I think of like the Clay Holmes incident.
I was literally just thinking about that, dude. That was so bad. Chris Kirshner. I remember Chris Kirshner's tweet about that. He was like, "Wow, my jaw is on the floor. You have to win that one. Like you have to make that pitch." And he like never tweets angry like that.
Massa
That was
actually
so
has
bad,
a
dude.
650 OPS against the Yankees. He sucks. He just has a
Damn.
couple big moments.
I was gonna say hype
I mean,
moments
he's
in
just
aura.
not very good overall.
Yeah,
Romy Gonzalez is their bench guy who is their main lefty killer after Rob Refsnyder went to the Mariners. I think he low key is like their third most important piece in the offense. Like I'd say it's Roman Anthony and then Wilson Contreras and then Romy Gonzalez. Because like pretty much
yeah,
everybody in this lineup that's a real hitter has lefty issues, except for Contreras and Romy Gonzalez. So he had an 162 WRC plus against lefties with some pretty crazy BABIP numbers. He had like a 387 BABIP. Like I know what you are, bro. Don't lie to me. But he's been good against lefties his whole career, even if he's not getting lucky.
I'm. Can I cut you off and piss you off even more?
Okay, let's go on.
His BABIP at home against lefties was 400.
Yeah, this guy's fucking bullshit. But
Ridiculous.
he's good at hitting the ball onto the green monster as a lefty. Whatever, man. I don't care. They need him to be good if they want to have any chance against the kind of elite lefty starting pitching the Yankees have. Like Fried, Rodon, Weathers is a lefty too, right?
Yeah.
Like those top three will just eat the Red Sox for lunch if Romy Gonzalez doesn't remain elite against lefties. I think I was very surprised when they let Refsnyder walk. Maybe they just weren't willing to pay him what he got from Seattle, but I feel like you kind of needed him. Having one guy in the lineup that's really good against lefties is way different than having two guys that are really good against lefties that you can slot in and
Yeah.
out. And if they bring in a lefty reliever, like if they bring in Tim Hill in like the sixth inning against Romy Gonzalez, they kind of have to pinch hit for him. He's really bad
Hmm.
against righties. Like he's nearly unplayable against righties. And then the Red Sox lineup is just ass against any other lefty that'll come in out of the pen later in the game. So I don't know, man. I think that they should have kept Rob Refsnyder.
I think so too. I think because I remember like last year they were playing. Every time we played the Red Sox, the splits didn't line up because they would just throw out an alrighty lefty killer lineup, and now it feels like they just have none. And
Yeah,
if if Romy Gonzalez is elite is a big if. Like the if in that statement is doing a lot of heavy lifting because it seems here like he's due for some pretty serious regression in that way. And with a 95 WRC plus against righties, I mean that's and 162
that's not as bad as
WRC
I
plus
thought it was
against.
actually.
Yeah, but still, like if the lefty WRC plus comes down, that that goes from like you said, if he can't hit lefties, who can? Besides Wilson Contreras.
Yeah. And those righty numbers are a little bit inflated just because they take him out against good lefties and they leave him in
Yeah.
against bad lefties. Sorry, up against bad righties. But I don't know. I think that they kind of need him more than they need pretty much any of these other guys.
Yeah. But
IKF is a Red Sox now. Deeply, deeply offensive to me. If you go to my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, by the way, follow Ryan on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. if you look at my profile picture and you zoom in, where it's a picture of me and Ryan at Yankee Stadium behind home plate at seats we totally paid for, totally paid for. If you look up on the like banner board, it says now batting IKF. He was my goat, and he's really just been killing me. Like Blue Jays and Red Sox back to back. It's just like he's gonna go to the Mets next. Like it's really
He lost them the
offensive.
World Series though. Like
Yeah, I
could have
mean
been worse.
sleeper agent.
Sleeper
But
agent kind of for
he's
life.
not that interesting. He can
Yeah,
play pretty much any infield position you throw him at. He can even play some outfield if you throw him out there. He's just a bench guy. He won't be able to hit, but he's not bad enough to make him useless at anything. Tristan Casas, we very briefly mentioned, doesn't look like I don't think he's going to be on the major league roster to start opening day, but
yeah,
not that he
doesn't
would be
look like it.
starting in the lineup anyway. But I assume he will come up and have some DH days pretty soon into the year. He's coming off a really major injury and hasn't been good the last few years, but has shown flashes of offensive brilliance in his career. So I think they'll definitely give him a shot at the major league level again.
I agree. I don't really have anything else to add on that. I think. Are you good on the offense?
Yeah, I think let's jump into what I believe is the main strength of the Red Sox, which is their rotation and specifically just how much depth they have.
Yeah, it really is an incredibly long list of pitchers, and they're all pretty good. And obviously, we'll start with the ace of the staff, Garrett Crochet, who would have won the Cy Young if Tarek Skubal was not who he is. He's elite in general, but specifically owns us. He's got a 3.29 ERA against us, and last year, 39 strikeouts in 27.1 innings pitched. That's ridiculous. That is just an absurd number. His sweeper was his best pitch. It had a 50% strikeout rate, 152 expected weighted on base average against. So, the he was confusing people. They generated a lot of soft contact, 15 run value overall. He had a pretty deep bag of pitches. He had four that he used over 15% of the time. He was throwing his four seamer about 35% of the time, and he had two that he was kind of working with towards the end there. But four really elite pitches is much more than most. He and this is something that I noticed in doing this research. He relied on his secondary fastball pitches a lot more. His sinker and his cutter, which got considerably better in his first year with the Sox. His cutter specifically went from a 0 run value in 2024 with the White Sox to a 9 run value in 2025 with the White Sox. Kind of just realized that he switched Sox for the first time. And yeah, there's really not a lot to say about Garrett Crochet that people don't already know. He's elite. He's going to be elite. And this was the first time he had that he pitched this many innings, though, right? Like, it was a considerable
Yeah,
increase in his normal workload last year. That's kind of the only thing
yeah.
that you can kind of point out.
Garrett Crochet will
But
be a top three pitcher in baseball probably. It'd be like Skeens, Skubal, and Crochet
yeah,
if he stays healthy. Like it was an anomaly that he threw that many innings. I think everyone was pretty surprised that he threw that many innings without. I don't think he had an IL stint even. He was healthy the whole
no,
year, and he was
yeah,
looking good in the playoffs. Like he wasn't gassed at all. His elbow could explode at any time, but you could say that about literally any pitcher in the league these days. So until it happens, Garrett Crochet, best pitcher in the AL East for sure.
without a doubt. Yeah,
Sonny
I
Gray
don't
is
want to I don't want
probably
to
the
waste too
two
much
for
time on
this
that.
year. Sonny Gray came over from the Cardinals, another Cardinals guy. The Heimblum connection is a little funny to me. Just Heimblum went over and sold everybody off the Red Sox. Now he went to the Cardinals and he's selling everybody on the Cardinals to the Red Sox. Obviously, have major beef with Sonny Gray. He's just a little bitch. Can't pitch in New York. I do think that him not being able to pitch in New York will be true when he's on the road in New York as
Yeah,
well. I don't know, like he just couldn't do it. And obviously he's like a different pitcher than he was when he was with us a long time ago, but he's old. His K minus walk rate was elite, which like that's usually how I evaluate pitchers. Like if you have a good K minus walk rate, it's I think literally the most predictive stat about how you're gonna do in the future. But he's old, and I just cannot possibly believe that he's gonna be elite in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I am of the. I mean, he's a different pitcher, whatever. Like, we owned him last year. We've owned him since he left. I don't know. I mean, this isn't a very objective analysis, I guess, but I'm not super scared of that. But overall, again, big pitch mix guy. 7 in 2025. He threw, I guess 8 technically, but he threw 2 slow curveballs, so I'm not counting that. Um, his four seam fastball was straight up not good in 2025. It had a -4 run value on Statcast, a 19.1% whiff rate, which generated a 4.6% strikeout rate, which I'm sure I don't have to tell you is not that good. And it generated a 431 expected weighted on base average. So it wasn't generating any whiffs, and it generated a lot of hard contact. Sounds a lot like Luis Heel until Wednesday when he heard us talking a lot of shit and decided that he didn't want to be that guy anymore. And but yeah, his breaking pitches, so his sweeper and his curveball were better. They generated a lot more whiffs. They got a lot less hard contact, and the Sox are pretty well known for decreasing fastball usage with new pitchers. They're or four seamer at least. They're really good with secondary pitches and things like that. Again, his sinker and his cutter weren't terrible. You know, they weren't anything really to write home about, but you can probably expect them to get a lot better. That seems to be what the Sox are kind of starting to target in terms of pitching development, sort of the cutters and secondary fastballs that they can kind of improve on, kind of like the Yankees with their changeups and stuff like that. Yeah, dude, Ben Rice took his dog shit fastball like 7,000 feet, and he's gonna do that again for his entirety of his stay in Boston. And so I welcome him back to the AL East. I'll be excited to meet up with him at some point. I do not like this guy. Like, whatever. Do you have anything else to add?
For the sake of objective analysis, I will say he doesn't give up any pulled fly balls to righties. Like they will people will not be hitting his pitches over the green monster, which is a really big help in Fen Mickey. So and obviously like the K minus walk rate is great. His sweeper is excellent. He's just old, and I don't believe in the makeup. Like
Yeah,
this is our least numbers analysis, but I just don't think he got that dog in him. Like
I
like
really
him
don't.
lying in his press conference about like, oh, I never wanted to go to New York, whatever. Like he's just a little bitch.
Yeah, like I really promised myself that I'd never say this on this show, but like he's just mentally small. Like he's not. He's just gonna give up a million home runs every time he comes to New York, and I can't wait. I was so happy when they traded for him, dude. I was so happy when they traded for him. And you know what? You can clip this in October if he owns us all year, and I will totally eat my words. But I'm staking my claim here. He is going to be bad against the Yankees in 2025.
Their other
Like
trade guy
really
was
really bad.
Johan Oviedo. They got him from the Pirates. He's an interesting guy. I actually really liked this move when they made it. They traded whatever Yo Hickstison. I don't know how to say his name. The
The
ass
password.
word. I call him the
The
ass
ass.
word. It's the ass word. I was so mad
I
when
like
they
that.
traded him because that was like my favorite. That was my favorite slander nickname I ever made, and now like he's on the Pirates. I'm never gonna get to use that. But he had Tommy John in 2023, and he was injured in 2025 at the beginning of the year, but he was pretty good in the innings he pitched. I remember watching him once for fantasy purposes, and I was like, damn, that boy nice. And now he's on the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are obviously a far better pitching development org than the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's still going to be a bit of a project. Like his pitches are kind of just okay in terms of actual run value that year, but they all get whiffs. They all avoid hard contact, but I think that he's probably going to be very effective coming up this year.
Yeah, the only thing is, I am actually just looking now. He gives up a lot of pulled fly balls in the air, so that might be a problem in Fenway, but I'm sure that that's something they're gonna work on. Like I said, and I'm sorry, like you were saying, all of his pitches are kind of just like fine, but they I'm not going to repeat everything you just said. Everything you said was correct, and I think they are looking to make him a lot better than he is. But it's not like he was terrible. And like we were saying, like the depth of this rotation is really what's impressive. And even if Oviedo can't be the number 3 in this rotation, like he's projected to be on Fangraphs, somebody else likely will be. We're going to talk about Connolly early and Peyton Tolly a little bit later, but he's still if he went out and repeated his 2025 extrapolated across an entire season, that would be a very, very serviceable back end starter.
Yeah, I will also say he gets 7.5 feet of extension and he's 6'6". Like
Oh
he
yeah.
only throws 95, but that's coming in at like looking at 100, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the amount of depth they have, they don't have room for all these guys. So I could see him as a really effective reliever at some point this year, especially considering he hasn't thrown a lot of innings. So
Mm-hmm.
keep that in mind. Clip this, come back to this if he becomes a really good reliever one day. Next up, Ronher Suarez. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
I
say
saw
it
the.
right because apparently it's not Ranger Suarez. This is a pronunciation
Yeah,
pod.
I saw the like they announced the pronunciation charts the other day, and I saw it's Ron Hare, I think is what.
Yes, it is. He said that in his
So
press conference.
there we go. Ron Hare Suarez. We get pronunciations right at River Ave Radio. Um, I
Eventually.
do not like, and listen, we've talked a lot about Ryan Yarbrough here and whatever, and I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I do not like these like trick fastball guys. Um,
We're not paying Ryan
he
Yarbrough $120 million. Like,
exactly over the next 7 years. Like Ron Suarez is not someone who is going to get a ton of swing and misses. He never has, but he can keep the ball in the park and keep it on the ground. He's got elite ground ball rates, elite hard hit rates, and his home run per 9 of .8 is just ridiculous. Um, yeah,
it's very hard to be an
I
effective
will give you the
starter in the
floor.
league at this
I
point
really, yeah,
with
like
only throwing like 90 miles per hour, so I'm
and
not
it's not like
moved.
he gets a ton of extension, so there's not a huge perceived velocity jump here. He is good, like he's just always he's a good starter, and at a certain point you really can't deny that. But his
I
fastball
mean,
run
his
value
velocity
was
has lost like a pretty significant amount of velo. Like last year
oh
he was
wow, yeah,
sitting
what is that?
90. The year before that he was 91. The year before that he was 93. The year before that is sitting about 93. So he's gone from like averaging 93 to towards 90. Like in spring training he's been barely hitting 91. And his arm angle is weird. Like he's throwing at like a 37-degree arm angle, so that gives some deception, and he throws so many pitches that are all like good enough that he can disguise that really awful fastball. But he's never thrown more than like 160 innings in a year, so he won't give you many innings. He probably will get injured at some point, and I feel like every year he's just gonna get worse and worse. And they give him a long ass contract. Like I don't know, maybe they see something in him that we don't. Obviously, these people are professionals and we're not, but I don't see it personally, and I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of blows up in their face. Maybe not this year, but definitely in the next couple of years.
Yeah, his fastball velo has gotten considerably slower, and also like his ground ball rates have gone down a lot. He was averaging 53.2% ground ball rate in 2024, a 48 in 2025. His hard hit rates, I don't know. I mean, again, when you've been doing this for so long, and at a certain point, like yeah, it ball don't lie, and he's an elite ground ball. He's not going to get you to chase and whiff a lot, and I don't know. I'm trying to force myself to find something that I like about the profile, and I just really don't. Like I think it's just like these kind of ground ball guys just get worse as they get older. It's
There's
and
nothing that we like about his profile, but he's just good. Like he has been
yeah,
good. Maybe he'll
ball
continue
don't
to be
lie.
good, but yeah, that's all you can really say on it, I think. Ron Hare, Ron Hare, Ron Hare.
Ron Hair. Also,
It just
his
isn't because everyone
sinker
just calls
is
him
his.
Ranger, which is a
This is
problem.
this is this is what they like. His sinker is his most thrown pitch. They love these sinker secondary fastball guys.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Maybe they get
That's what the Red
the
Sox
ground ball
probably
rate
like.
back up, which is good for
Yeah, maybe.
Fenway. So
All
Brian
right, moving
Bayo
on.
is number 5 here. Definitely owns us, but we don't really believe in him.
He's had 1 year with an ERA below 4, and he's never had an ERA below 3. Do you know his ERA against us?
I do not. Like, I
235.
don't know, two.
And
Yeah.
he has 53 strikeouts in 65 innings. Like this is not a strikeout guy, which makes it all the more infuriating. Like he's another ground ball, soft contact kind of guy, even though Ben Rice destroyed his fastball in the wild card. And yeah, coming back from injury,
Five out Bayo, they call him.
this is kind of just where we get to the point in the rotation where you're just kind of looking at the impressive amount of depth. Like, yeah, he's sure. Is he not an ace? No. Can he get you through a game and keep you in it? Sure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
I think he's probably feeling the pressure with Peyton Tolly and Connolly Early kind of knocking on the door here. And while I'm not very scared of Brian Bayo, Peyton Tolly and Connolly Early are going to be big problems for us.
Yeah, Tolly
I don't know if you have
is.
anything.
It's really, I think, gonna be. Like, they gotta have a 6-man rotation, right? Like, they have
Yeah.
Crochet with injury concerns. They want to limit his innings, and they have Connolly Early and Peyton Tolly, who are like top 10 pitching prospects in baseball each, respectively. Tolly's another big extension guy, nearly the same as Oviedo, except I think he gets a little bit more extension somehow. His
Yeah, he gets
fastball is
7.5.
faster than Oviedo's, though. He's throwing at 97 at base, and the stuff on it's crazy. It's like an 120 stuff plus. This is like Cam Schlittler tier fastballs he's chucking in, like Carlos Legrand fastballs she's throwing in there. He's just generally a stuff demon. Like, his breaking stuff also has a really good stuff problem. Sorry, stuff plus, but it's like a 123 stuff plus slider, 133 curve. But I think that's a small sample size curve. Like, I think that's kind of just it misreading his slider, and a great changeup. He hasn't really shown the ability to throw those pitches in the major leagues effectively. Like, he wasn't very good in his limited sample size in the big leagues last year. They threw him as like a reliever in the playoffs maybe once. I forget if he pitched at all in the Yankees series. But as he develops, I'm sure he'll get more of a feel for his off-speed stuff and become more of a problem. And just that fastball, like if they can give him like a second fastball, like a cutter or something, I think that he'd be kind of
Which
cracked.
again, like that is seemingly becoming their thing. So if that's what's going to unlock him, then it's going to be a big year for Peyton Tolly. But I think at least off the bat, Connolly Early was much more impressive in his limited time in the majors. At all levels of pro ball, majors, minors, single A, double A, triple A, he gets just ridiculous levels of swing and miss, and that was true even in his limited time in the majors as well. Last year in triple A, he had a 31.9% strikeout, or I'm sorry, a 30.8% strikeout rate. In the minors in total last year, a 31.9. In the major leagues, a 36.7. So his strikeout rate went up when he got to the major leagues. And his walk rate, again, this is maybe like a sample sizes thing, but it went down from 9.7 in the minors to 5.1. So, his command is good. It's not like it's average, it's not like he's walking 13, 12% of batters and things like that. He is really good. His fastball is slower than Peyton Tolly's, if I remember correct. Or yeah, I'm sorry, but still good
Yeah,
at around
he's not as much of a
94. He
stuff
doesn't get as
guy.
much extension. Yeah,
They're
I think
not
he's much more.
they're not super comparable pitchers.
No, not at all. But
He's
he,
good. I mean, he just has a
yeah,
crazy mix, especially for such a young guy. He throws like 6 different pitches all well. He doesn't have anything like stuff-wise that'll jump off the page at you, but he throws from a weird arm angle. All of his pitches are good. He can mix them in at any point in the count. So I'd probably say that Early is gonna make the opening day rotation. He's also had a really like tremendous spring. He has like below a 2
yeah.
ERA and he's striking everybody out. Yankees saw him a couple days ago and he owned us. So I
He
think that was
would
the
have
cold
owned us
day.
in the playoff start if not for Jaron Duran.
Yeah, the we didn't even really own him. Like we scored a couple fake runs. Like there was that
Yeah,
bad infield play from like who was it? It was Nathaniel Lau was their first baseman who
yeah,
booted a ball or something, and Jaron Duran dropped that Judge ball. Like if not for that, he could have. I'm not saying he would have been as good as Schlittler that game, but he would have probably gone 6 innings and given up
it
like
would have
one
been
run
it would have been a
maybe.
better pitcher start. Like it would have been one for the ages.
So if I had to predict where we're going to be at for the opening day rotation, it'd probably be Crochet 1, obviously. They traded for Sonny Gray, so I think they're going to put him at 2. Ranger Suarez, sorry, Ron Hare. That's going to take a lot of adjusting.
Yeah,
Ronner Suarez at 3, Johan Oviedo at 4, Brian Bayo at 5, Connolly Early is the 6th man going in. Maybe Bayo is the 6th man, but I think he has enough like major league experience that they'll probably
yeah.
give him the benefit of the doubt.
I
And
think
then
starting out,
Peyton
but I
Tolley,
think at
there's
some point this year, Early will be the better pitcher of the two,
yeah, no, 100%. I think Early could be the second best guy in this rotation pretty
without a
quickly.
doubt.
Peyton Tolley probably starts the year in the minor leagues, if I had to guess. I don't think they get too much out of putting him in the bullpen. I think they send him to the minors so he can work on his pitch development, get some off-speed stuff that actually works going. And then the three other guys, just like we want to quickly mention, they signed Pablo Sandoval last year, but he missed the entire season. Red Sox will basically just completely remake him, so I don't think there's much to say there. We have no idea what we're going to get out of him at all. Cutter Crawford, funny guy, uh, funny Twitter guy. He's
Hmm.
not good. I mean, he's shown some flashes of not being like awful, but he's not worth talking about much. He gets a lot of chase, but he gives up a ton of barrels, and in Fenway, that's kind of a death sentence. And Tanner
Yeah.
Houck,
He also can't get
coming off
ground
Tommy
balls,
John
so
surgery. Yeah, Tanner Houck's coming off Tommy John surgery, and please come back as soon as possible and allow us to feast on your dog shit pitches, sir.
yeah. Uh, yeah, I think that's it for the rotation. This is easily, I don't know about easily. This is, or actually, let me amend. This is easily the deepest rotation in the AL East. Having Connolly Early and Peyton Tolley just kind of stashed around, hanging out, waiting until it's their time. It's definitely scary. I think after you look at it and you realize, there's really only like Sonny Gray and Ron Suarez are both, and it's not even like Ron Suarez. I'm talking about health here, and so like Crochet just threw an absurd amount of innings last year. Oviedo is coming back from injury, barely through last year. Bayo's coming back from injury. Tolly and Early are used to working under minor league workloads. This is going to be their first full major league season. So really, you're kind of just hoping for Sonny Gray and Ron Harris Suarez to be the anchors in terms of innings in this rotation. And both of them are some question marks. So I think while this rotation is definitely very, very deep, I think there is definitely the potential for other rotations in the division to be better.
Yeah, I think there's like a non-insignificant, just absolute disaster chance with this rotation. Like
Yeah,
Crochet could get injured, Sonny Gray could be bad, Oviedo could be injured or bad, Ron Hare could be bad, and he usually is injured. Like he's never thrown 180 innings in his career. Bayo could regress and be bad. Tolley could not progress as much. Connolly Early could not be great in a larger major league sample. Like I think every single one of these guys has non-insignificant concerns, but as a whole unit, definitely by far the deepest. I'd say probably in baseball, maybe besides like the Dodgers.
yeah, yeah, I think so. All right, well, that is the Red Sox rotation, and I think our last section here is talking about the bullpen, which suffers a similar fate as the lineup in that they're really not great against lefties. So obviously, starting out, Aroldis Chapman, who is a top three most hated Yankee of all time, and he's probably not two or three. Uh, I think he's
Like I try to separate like how much of a bitch he is from the fact that like he was genuinely good for most of his career, but like when it if when it counted, Aroldis Chapman would not be there.
yeah. I mean, his
And
lasting
now he's
legacy
good on
is
the Red Sox.
the
Like,
grin. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like it would have
the
been
famous
fine if
grin.
he didn't go to the Red Sox. Like him going to the Red Sox and being like, "Oh, I would never go pitch for the Yankees. I'd retire if they wanted me back." Like, yeah, dude, we'd shut down the team if you were the only pitcher available. Like this goes both ways.
Domestic
Um,
abuser, the clubhouse cancer. Also, like, oh my god, like them saying like he just wasn't aiming and that's why he's good and when he was bad with the Yankees. Like, are you kidding me? I don't believe that. First of all, like
no,
clearly it wasn't that he wasn't aiming. Like for people who don't understand what I'm talking about, basically what happened is that he obviously went on an incredible run last year. He like didn't give up a hit for like a month.
yeah,
And people were like, "Oh, like what's different?" And I don't know. I think it was Connor Wong, who we didn't even mention because he's so bad. He's not even worth mentioning. Is how ass he is. He was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah.
I just like on my pitch com said throw it in the bottom left corner of the zone instead of just throwing the fastball." And Chad was like, "Whoa, I never thought about that. Like that is not true. That is just objectively not true. I know that's not true." But he's old. I don't understand how he's this good. It's insanely frustrating. He was throwing like 94 with the Yankees in 2022 and or 2021 and now he's throwing this like go fuck yourself, bro.
Yeah. Again, really not much to add on there. He's elite. He was the best reliever in baseball last year, and really had all the underlying metrics to back it up. So, I mean, you just kind of got to hope.
He's
You
old
kind of
though.
got to
You
hope
never know
for
what
the
you're going to get.
occasional.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I do not believe that Aroldis Chapman will be the best reliever in baseball again. I think Red Sox fans would be
No,
foolish
God,
to
no.
do so as well.
Yeah.
Garrett Whitlock is their setup man. Gave up the losing run in the World Baseball Classic. By the way, everyone, all the Red Sox fans who talk shit about Judge, your reliever gave up the losing run and Roman Anthony struck out to end the game. So maybe if your team didn't suck so bad, we would have won that game.
Oh no,
But
but you didn't hear because Judge is good. People get to think he's bad.
yeah, he's so good that when he's not the best hitter of all time every game, he's the worst hitter in history.
Yeah.
But over the course of a full season, he's unfortunately very good. He does pretty much everything Chapman does, just like marginally worse. Like he's an excellent setup man. I'd give him like top 5 in the league for setup guys. And Whitlock into Chapman is a really excellent combo. Also gave up a losing run against the Yankees in the playoffs, so you're
Yes, he
bad.
did.
You're bad, son.
Unclutch.
Greg Weissert up next. Can we just stop giving our relievers to the Red Sox? Literally all three of
Dude,
these
the top
guys are
three.
Yankees. The top 3 guys in their bullpen are all former Yankees. Didn't we trade him for like Alex Verdugo? Like, don't love
Yeah.
that. Overall, serviceable, but he's nothing crazy. Like, he's a good reliever. Not much to say. He throws a really weird sweeper. Like, I think he gets the most sweep on his sweeper of anybody. But he's not like the greatest reliever ever, and he's worse against lefties.
I was
Justin
gonna say he
Slayton,
has
kind of
lefty
the
issues, right?
same thing. Yeah, they all the none like obviously Whitlock and Chapman are good against everybody, but number 3 and 4, Greg Weissert, Justin Slayton, both very serviceable, like mid 3 ERA guys, good decent strikeout numbers, but just doesn't have great stuff against lefties. Both of their walk rates are significantly higher against lefties, but pretty good against righties. They just signed recently Danny Coulombe, pronunciation confirmed by the way. This is a pronunciation pod. Loki has like a demon cutter, but he's super old. He's like 36. He's gonna be 37, but he's
Yeah.
got juice in the tank. If he sucks, just get rid of him. He's a lefty, but he can get lefties out, but he's not elite against them. So I do think the Red Sox could definitely use like a dedicated lefty guy who's not Garrett Whitlock or Aroldis Chapman, like for some kind of 6 inning stuff. But yeah, I don't think there's anybody else we're missing here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think we have more or less covered all the bases. And
Baseball
looking
pun.
forward,
Nice.
I didn't realize. Looking forward to next season. After now doing this episode, how are you feeling about the Red Sox? Before we get to the record and predictions and
Yeah,
things like
I was
that.
actually just
Just
gonna say
overall,
this.
what are your
So
thoughts?
I'm relatively optimistic about the Yankees matchup into the Red Sox. Like as we talked about, they have a ton of really good lefty starting pitching. They have a bullpen I think that can match up relatively well against the Red Sox offense. I definitely don't think we're going to get owned as hard as we did last year. I think our AL East record last year was so bad that it's
Yeah.
unsustainable with how good the team was. I think their rotation could definitely be better than ours. I mean, it could be like top of baseball good, but I think some of these guys just aren't really great picks into the Yankees. I think Crochet, obviously, he's good against literally everybody, but I think Brian Bale, like, our numbers have to get better against him. Like, I really don't think that he's this good against the Yankees because he's the greatest pitcher ever. I think he just got lucky.
Yeah.
Ron I think it's gonna be interesting seeing him more. Like, the Yankees haven't faced him a ton, and they're not usually great against pitchers they haven't faced a lot. But I think as the course of the year goes on, like, his stuff isn't that good. Like, I think the Yankees will be able to figure him out. Johan Oviedo, I don't know. He's good. Yankees kind of struggle with people throwing hard that they haven't seen. Sonny Gray, I hope we can own. We already owned him last year. I think we can do it again. I just really hope that their rookies don't become absolute demons and own us like we usually do get owned by rookies.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think the rotation is definitely the strong point. And there are holes that you can poke, but less so in that than in others. I think the splits issue for the bullpen, but more so the lineup is going to be a big problem, specifically in the Yankee matchups. I actually think that there might be a bit of a pendulum swing this year. I think we're going to own the Red Sox pretty hard. After doing this episode and doing this
Would love
research,
that.
it's we're due for some good luck against them. It's been a rough few years in general against the Red Sox, and maybe this wild card win maybe changes the winds of fortune there. But I think overall, just like from a objective analytic perspective, the players that the Red Sox let go were a lot of the players that performed really well against the Yankees last year, and I think if the Yankees can, one, tighten up the defense because it was especially bad in games against the Red Sox, but two, just kind of hope for the best in terms of splits, and if Boone can navigate these games well, then I'm feeling pretty good, with bullpen moves and substitutions and things like that. Because I feel like if you line these splits up the right way, like you were saying earlier, bringing in, if they bring in Tim Hill for Romy Gonzalez, then that kind of neutralizes, and we have a lot of lefties in the pen, like that almost neutralizes them once you get to the bullpen. So
Yeah,
I'm
after
feeling
doing the
good
series,
about our
I'm
matchups with the Red Sox this
I'm
year.
definitely way
And
more concerned about the Blue Jays than the Red Sox after
without a doubt.
taking a look at both of them in depth. So
Uh,
let's do the record. What's you think?
I
What do
was
you
just
think the
gonna say.
record's gonna be?
So
Let's get your pick first.
they finished at 89 and 73 last year, and I think this is a better team than last year.
They only won
I think that
89 games.
yeah, I think their
Wow, they
lineup
suck.
is going to improve with a full season of Roman Anthony, and I think Contreras is probably maybe even going to be better than Bregman was for them. I'm not saying Contreras is better than Bregman overall. I think Contreras is going to provide more value to them, and paying him less is better. And I think the rookies in the Red Sox rotation are going to make a big impact, and I think the rotation is going to be good in general. Um, Overall, I would predict them to be stronger than last year. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 92 and 70. I'm gonna give them three more wins. I think they're gonna be a lot more competitive for the division than they were last year. But I do think that actually I shouldn't say that. I don't think they're going to be as competitive for the division because we're going to own them all year. I think our record against them in 14 games is going to be very lopsided. I'm going to go for a 9-5 record against the Red Sox in 2025.
I was thinking actually exactly the same thing at 9-5. I think for their overall record, I actually don't agree that their lineup's gonna be better. I think that they have serious problems with hitting lefties, and it's not just gonna be against the Yankees. I'd say they're really relying on this rotation to carry them through, especially when I think that they're pretty going to be prone to cold streaks on offense, especially if they get like a long run of good lefties in a row, or if they run into
Right.
teams who have really good lefties out of the pen. I'd say between like 88 to 90 wins. I didn't know they only won 89 games last year. I assumed for some reason they won like 92, 93. They were not
Mm-hmm.
as good as I thought they were. I wouldn't be that surprised if they won exactly 89 games again. But I think they might miss the playoffs if they only win 89 games again. They're also going to be playing a good Orioles team as opposed to
Yeah.
the awful Orioles team that they beat up last year, which I think will hurt their overall record. But yeah, I think my final projection: 90 wins. Yankees go 9-5 against them in the division, maybe 10-4 if we get lucky.
All
But
right.
overall, hold up, one more thing. Let's get division rankings. What do you think the division's going to look like at the end of the year?
Yes. So I was just gonna say that. So I think you'll probably be able. Mm, you know what? I'm not gonna get cute here. I'm gonna stick to what I know and what I think. I'm gonna go Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles, Rays. But I think there is a solid chance that there are 4 AL East teams in the playoffs next year.
I honestly am going to go Yankees, Blue Jays, Orioles, Red Sox, Rays. Bold prediction: I think they miss the playoffs. I think they miss the
The
playoffs
Red
by like 2
Sox?
games. The Red
Wow.
Sox.
Okay, that's big.
Hating, T1 hater right there.
You know what? I
And I
respect
think
that.
I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh.
I would chuckle.
I think hot take number 1, Ronher's going to be bad. Hot take number 2, they miss the playoffs. Hot take number 3, I think they're probably pretty good. 2027. I guess that's not a
Yeah, I
hot
think.
take. I think most people expect them to be good 2027.
Yeah, but still, I don't think a lot of people expect them to be bad this year. Um, yeah, those are good hot takes. I
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
it.
know if I have. I think my hot take, and I don't know, maybe this isn't a hot take, just considering, but I think Garrett Crochet is not gonna pitch as many innings this year. I think he's probably gonna get injured or at least need an innings limit at some point. I think he's probably gonna finish around 150 to 170 rather than like 200. And yeah, so that's my hot take. I think Garrett Crochet is going to finish in between 150 and 170 innings to end the year, which is not bad, but it's just not as good as last year. So I think they're going to need him to be, I think they're expecting him to be the same as he was last year, and I think he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be worse, but I don't think he's going to appear as often.
Yeah.
So
All right. So let's jump out here. Thank you everybody for
yeah,
listening to the series. If you haven't seen the other episodes in our division preview series, go give them a watch. I think it'll give you a really good idea of what we're going to be up against this year and make you just an overall more knowledgeable fan. If you
yeah,
watch to the end, thank you so much. Please drop the like, subscribe, give us a comment. We will read all of them. I swear we don't get that many. It's not that hard. Go give us a follow on Twitter. We're pretty funny, at least in my opinion. And in my opinion, we're the best people around for that. No bias at all right there. So yeah, you got anything else to say?
No, I thank you again for joining us along this division rivals series. We wanted to shake it up a little bit in spring training as we entered the season here, but I think I'm feeling a lot better about the division after doing a serious deep dive into all the teams. I think the Yankees match up really well with their opponents. I think our biggest threat is going to be the Blue Jays, but it's going to be an interesting year of Yankees baseball. We start in 4 days. So we will see you. We'll see you before then. We'll see you before then, probably with one
Yeah.
more episode before opening night. And yeah, hopefully you are all enjoying your last few games of stress-free baseball, depending on how you watch spring training. I guess some of you make it a little stress watching spring training, depending on how you watch it. But that's your prerogative. And thank you again. Please subscribe. Please download. Please leave a comment. Follow our socials. We absolutely love to interact with new people. We want to get this out to as many of you as possible. And we hope you enjoy listening to this as much as we enjoy making it. So,
Talk to you
yeah.
later. Go
Talk to you later.
Yankees.
Go Yankees.